the father of bluegrass music, Mr. Bill Monroe.
Kentucky, now to see my Lord do. I'm going back to old Kentucky, where the skies are always blue.
My mother, she used to walk through the house singing, you know. And she could play the fiddle. But she had to cook for, 8 children, and her husband, my father. And so that taken a lot of her time. She'd go by the bed where she left her fiddle and pick it up and play a number, an old-time fiddle number, and it was just wonderful. Late in the evening, about sundown, high on a hill above the town, Uncle Pen played the fiddle, Lord, how it would ring. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Uncle Pen Vandiver was the first man that I ever heard play a fiddle, and I believe I was about 6 years old the first time I ever heard him play. He got the wonderful Scotch Irish sound out of it. He was a wonderful uncle, and he'd always bring the fiddle, and we'd get to hear the fiddle. After we'd have supper of a night, we'd sit around the fireplace, and he'd play the fiddle. And he played numbers like Jenny Lind, Sally Gooden, Going Across the Sea. Well, I used to hear him sing in churches, and they'd have tenor singers, and ladies, they'd be singing the alto. My brothers, they all went to the singing school in the church. But there was no use me going because I couldn't see the notes or anything, you see, and they couldn't learn me anything. So I just decided that I would learn my music by ear and always do it that way. One time, a good gentleman named Arnold Schulz, a black man, come up here and visit us. He was the most wonderful guitar man that could play the blues that you ever listened to. It was Arnold Schulz. And so, and he could also play the fiddle. And one time he was up around Rosine, and they wanted us to play for a square dance there. So Arnold played the fiddle, and I played the guitar. Now, you might not believe this, but this is right. We started around sunset in the evening, and we was playing the next morning. Later on, when I was putting my music together, I remember how he played the blues and everything, so I was going to add some blues to my music. Kentucky, it was kind of sad there, after my folks had passed away, my father and mother. But I was raised on the farm, and I liked that kind of work, and I liked to live there. So I'd never been in the cities, you see, and I didn't know what it would be like. I was really scared of it. There were a lot of country people there, of course. A lot of them wanted to get off the farm, you know, because that was hard work, and they wanted to come into the city where they'd make so much each week. My brothers, they was already up north, and they was moving down from Detroit down to Indiana, and they all wanted me to come up there. So I decided to go. We got on some stations up there in the northern part of Indiana. The Monroe brothers, you know, Charlie and me, and worked hard at it as a duet, you see. Our first station we went on was WAE in Hammond, Indiana, in 1930. I was the first Monroe that went on a radio station. And then we went to Gary, Indiana, on WJKS, and that stands for Where Joy Kills Sorrow, WJKS. We went from there on to Omaha, Nebraska, from there to Columbia, South Carolina, from there to Charlotte, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, so we done all right.
It's time to bank the fire and blow out the lights. So we'll be back next Saturday at this same time with more of your favorite homespun fun and music. Thanks so much for listening. Be good, everybody.
I'd heard about the Grand Ole Opry all my life, you know, and I wanted to give it a try, see if I could get on there. So I went in there one Monday, you know. Harry Stone, David Stone, and the solemn old judge said they would listen to me. So I've done about a couple of 3 songs, and they said, you start this coming Saturday night, and if you ever leave here, you'll have to fire yourself. So I've been there. It'll be 50 years the last Saturday in October.
For this evening on the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. Let her go, boys.
Pitch the music high. I pitched it higher than anybody in the United States ever did. I put the drive in the music with my mandolin. That's where that drive comes from. That would give the fiddle some work to do, and that would be the most wonderful timing for the banjo in the world, is the time when I set bluegrass music to it.
Monroe combined musical sounds that were sacred and secular, urban and rural, hillbilly, ragtime, sentimental and blues. His music had a driving rhythm that was modernized and streamlined. The late 1940s were the heyday for the Bluegrass Boys. During these years, Monroe shaped the talents of his musicians into a distinctive bluegrass sound.
There's been so many bluegrass boys, you know. I think around 65 or 75 fiddle players, and the same thing in the banjos and the guitar and the bass. Of course, the same mandolin players still with them today.
Monroe was the leader, but not the star. He called upon the Bluegrass Boys to step up and take solo breaks like a jazz combo. Monroe encouraged each band member to develop their own style within his tight structure.
Bluegrass is like a school of music. Learn it right, learn the timing of it. Don't get it so fast that there's nothing there but just the speeding of the music. Keep your timing right. The rhythm, the feeling of the music. It's got to be there. See, if I'd have changed, the people wouldn't have liked that at all. And so I was going to stay with the kind of music that I wanted and loved to start with, what I wanted to put together, and to keep the bluegrass pure, that's the way it's got to be.
The musical tradition that began by the hearth of Monroe's childhood home is passed on today at bluegrass festivals around the world. As Monroe learned from his Uncle Pen, new generations learn from the creators of the music and carry on the legacy of bluegrass.